How's everybody doing? Hope you guys are all well, and I hope you guys had an amazing trading week. It's Sunday over here, which means we are having another market outlook with Trade Forex, and this is going to be the second market outlook I'm doing on this channel. If you guys haven't watched the first market outlook, oh boy, let me tell you, you guys missed out big time because it was absolutely fantastic. And in fact, before I deep dive into today's market outlook, I will quickly take you through what we discussed last Sunday across all these 6 pairs and what were the forecasts we made and mostly how they played out. And then we can discuss how we could have taken certain trade or how we could have avoided certain stop losses. So this being said, let's start with USD CHF. Here's the video.
Retracement coming over here and then most likely going towards the supply zone. So now currently based on the order flow and based on the structure of the market, I will be definitely over the next few days looking for further buys. I'm not interested anymore sell.
So you guys can see clearly that I said I was looking for buy, waiting for retracement, right, and taking the buy. So look at this, check this out. Literally price came all the way up here, then it retraced. It gave a nice entry over here, and yes, I hit a stop loss over here. We'll discuss that later. And then eventually it started going to the upside. Why it was going to the upside? Because in the video I mentioned that they need to reach a supply zone before they keep going to the downside, if the intention is still go to the downside. But wait, that's just USD CHF. Let's go gold, because that was beautiful. Gold was literally picture perfect. Check this out, yeah?
So now, if I see 4 hour, 1 hour breaking to the upside, I will definitely wait for a retracement, take the buy, and bring it all the way up here. So that definitely will be a nice fast supply target, let's say, for then obviously, as I say, that's my forecast, but my reaction can be in a different way. So if I come here and then I see a potential of a break to the downside, then definitely taking it to bring all the way to the high time frame demand, okay?
Okay, this one here, guys, this was literally picture perfect. Check this out. Like, it's not joke. Check this out. It's just crazy. I didn't touch any drawing. Like, okay, let me show you. Yeah, that was literally crazy. Check this out. So this one, okay, we had this scenario. So that's what was my forecast. I was expecting this to break 1 hour, 4 hour retracement, coming to the supply, and then potentially keep going to the downside. Right? That was literally the drawing. And where is it? This was exactly the result. So we had a break to the upside, we had a beautiful entry over here, and then we eventually reached the supply zone. And according to the drawing, I said that if we see a break to the downside, then we can take the sell. And in fact, there was a nice 1 entry, 2 entry over here for a potential sell. But I'm not going to discuss this further. We will break it down later for the next upcoming days to see what we can expect next. And then let me show you 2 more, and then we'll definitely jump to the chart. And
price, let's say breaking all the way down here, I will never ever look for a sell. Right now, what I see is that even if it goes down, I'm not going to wait for further confirmation like this. If I see a break, I'll definitely take this and have target at least as a minimum here, right? Then here.
All right, that was Euro GBP. Okay, so what we had was Euro GBP, and voila, check this out. So I hit another stop loss over here. Why? Because I said on that video, if I see break to the upside, I'm definitely taking the buy. Oh, and here we had a break to the upside. So my target was this line over here, right? So as you can see, yeah, exactly. That was the first target for a potential buy. And I also say that if this fails, so it goes down, I'll be still looking for a buy. I'm not interested in any sell at all. And that's what we had. Price broke to the downside eventually. We had a break of structure. I was waiting for a beautiful pending order over here to bring the price up here. It didn't get it, but still fine. Like, you know, the analysis has played out, and I think that's the most important thing. Now, let me show you one more, and then we jump to it, okay? So we got GBP USD.
So probably somewhere around here, I'll definitely look for a sell. How do I do that? Well, I could leave a pending order, or I could wait for lower time frame confirmation somewhere around there, taking the trade, and then boom, targeting all the way down there. Now, why down there?
All right, again, that's GBP USD. It went all the way down, and voila, here we go. So price still came one more time inside the big supply, not the smaller one. So if you would have left a pending order, that would have been definitely a stop. But as soon as price reacted away from it, right, you could have left a pending order over here, which was a decisional. Very beautiful entry over here, and target all the way down there. So you guys can clearly see that literally, I would say 80 to 90% of the pairs that we discussed, like 80%, 90% has played out beautifully. I'm not going to show you eurusd, USD, JPY. If you are interested, you can watch the video. And eventually, even eurusd has played out differently, but it's reaching the target based on the drawing. And USD, JPY, I already made the video about the trade breakdown that I've done. you guys can watch it, which is this one over here. And I literally said that I was targeting this demand zone last week. We didn't reach there yet, but it's fine. Even though it gave us a nice trade, we had a potential for 1 to 30, and I've taken partial over here in 1 to 15, somewhere around there, and then eventually that hit break even, which is absolutely fine. Better less profit than nothing. And this being said, guys, it was absolutely crazy. So hopefully we can do the same exact thing for the next few days or for the upcoming week. And as usual, I say, guys, if you want to see more trade breakdown with different other pairs or anything that you trade personally, comment in the section below. I'll be more than happy to break that down every Sunday when I can, right? So now, this being said, let's get started today with the market outlook, and let's see what we can have for the next upcoming week. And before I start, guys, as always and as usual, please do not take any of this information as a financial advice or any service, any signal whatsoever. This is only for educational purpose, and everything said and shared here is just based on my personal point of view and experiences. I'm sorry I have to repeat this every time, but it's very, very important because I don't want you guys to see all these videos and be like, oh, damn crazy, you know, let me jump and let me invest, whatever. No, please do not do that. Absolutely no way. This is for educational purpose. So I hope you guys are learning and seeing the way I see the market, and every time I'm breaking it down, calling it live, because this is not the first time I'm doing that. You guys can see all the other videos, the way I'm calling them live, because it's always like the same thing, right? You follow the pattern, you react to pattern, and you of course have to also predict and forecast, because that's important as well. And again, about that I made another video because I had few people asking me and requesting me difference between forecast and prediction, which is the video over here. So make sure to watch that as well to understand properly how to take the advantage of the both. All right, now starting with USD JPY, I'm gonna start with this today, so then we can scroll all the way down there. Actually, I don't think there is major things to discuss about this because we still have the same analysis we left from last week. So what's going on currently in a bigger time frame, we are still bearish. You guys can see we broke the high time frame order flow. Currently we are retracing into important supplies. First supply over here, second supply over here. I had someone, actually a lovely supporter of mine, commenting in my USD video asking me if he should sell or hold the sell towards 143, I think. So if you're watching this video, I'm making a quick breakdown for you here. And let's see, 143, someone around here. All right, yeah, it is absolutely valid. However, as I also explained it to him on the comment section, is that you guys have to understand that yes, in a higher time frame we are bearish. So now we are going to the downside because it broke all the order flow instruction and everything. However, you are looking the narrative from the left, and you have to start reacting and building your story to the right. So what do I mean is that on the right hand side we can see price is still bullish in 4 hour, 1 hour, 30 minutes. So that means that yes, in big picture we're going to sell, but you don't have to just keep selling, because you have to also respect the current order flow that a market is telling to you to look at, right? And this is important because if you are a, let's say, intraday trader, like having in your mind that we are bearish in a weekly or monthly is not really important to you, because you have to understand what's going on in smaller time frame. In smaller time frame is all bullish. So you see, that's how you link up all the narrative together. So what I can currently see is that price did not reach this demand zone, okay? However, it retraced above this high, which I personally evaluate as a sign of strength from the buyer side, overcoming on the supply. So I will be definitely looking for buy. Now, why I will be looking for buy is, the reason for it is because here, right, the way I say that this supply was important, I do see this supply being important as well. Okay, look at the way market left behind a massive candle, and look at the inefficiency left behind as well. So this is a clear sign that the market need to come back here at one point during its cycles. All right, and then also on the top of that, we have tons of liquidity. You guys know I don't trade much of liquidity, but it's always an extra confluence that you can take in consideration. So there's a lot of liquidity over here, literally above here. I wouldn't be even surprised if I say price literally breaking through the upside, but right now that's just a forecast. I don't want to predict, I want to react to it. So what do I say is that currently this could be a very nice target for buy, or somewhere around here. Why somewhere around here? Because sometimes what price can do is, like, if this is a very high liquid zone, like there's a lot of liquidity over here, right, what can happen is, like, price can come here, show all the, let's say, support trader, a resistant trader, whatever, that maybe this level is still valid, so they might can bring more traders into it for shorting from that level, and then eventually they can do a stop hunt and then go all the way down there, right? So that will be a very nice forecast. But right now, for the next few days, or let's say for the next week, if I'm focusing for, let's say, intraday or kind of semi-swinger trade, then what I can say is that if this is the high that has been broken, I will potentially wait for, let's say, some retracement, all right, somewhere below here within this zone, right, within this zone, and then eventually I can go for a buy. And so don't fight the order flow, because the order flow in a smaller time frame for intraday is bullish, so stick to that. Okay, so I'm not going to complicate further. I think that's as simple as that. You guys can see we're going higher and we stay to that. Okay, and now let's go to eurusd. And eurusd again is beautiful. It's actually like, okay, so I know, I'm sorry I have a lot of drawings. It's because I made the market outlook, the breakdown, and I made also a few more videos around it. But right now, eurusd, for me personally, kind of wouldn't say that it turned bearish yet, because yes, it's true that it has broken this structure down here, the order flow. However, if you zoom out a little bit, you can see that they're breaking that structure. Okay, that's why it's always important to the left is understanding what type of structure is that. So in this case, you can see that this is the range, right, that is controlling the market. And what range is that? This is a higher time frame range, which is the most important one. So therefore, we are still bullish till we don't violate this level over here, right? So this is the most important demand, holding the price in another time frame. So you guys have to understand that every time frame that shows you a demand and supply has a relevant importance, right? So basically, if you have a demand on 4-hour demand will hold a 4-hour structure, 4-hour narrative, and 4-hour story. You cannot use 4-hour demand for your weekly or daily perspective. Yes, you can do that when you have 4-hour structure. So let's say 4-hour low and daily low or weekly low aligning in the same zone, right? So now this is something that you guys have to practice a lot, but I'm just telling you a bit about it. So now what's going on is that currently we are bullish. We're still bullish over here in a higher time frame. So let's say this is probably monthly structure, okay? And what's going on is that price is coming towards this demand zone to the extreme. So you guys can clearly see that even intraday, like 1 hour, 4 hour, 30 minutes, price is heavily bearish. It's going to the downside. However, as I said, and as I did also on my drawing over here, is that price just took out an important low over here. Okay, so this is important because this was the reaccumulation needed in a high time frame to break this structure. Okay, so it's a very, very, very important decisional zone, right? And then that means that it can be either liquidity grab, right, or it can be just a valid break of structure to the downside, and potentially we might can see some sort of retracement to the upside. Hopefully it's not going to the upside because I'm inside a sell. I'm still holding it because my target is down here on the red line, but we cannot predict. We have to just react to what the market is telling me and telling us. So currently we can see everything's bearish. So I will be just monitoring for potential sell. Let's see if we can get anything from, what is it? 1 second. Okay, let's see if we can get anything from this zone for a sell continuation. Simple as that, nothing complex. And if we do see, however, right, that price is not holding this supply zone, or let's say this week, because this is a stop hunt, I guess probably due to news, then if we see some sort of shift like this, we can potentially target a buy at least all the way above this zone. Okay, so that will be the two potential scenario I can see. But again, right now we just got to react to the sell order flow because that's what is dominating the market and not the buyer. Okay, so apologies for the notification. 1 second. All right, cool. So now, this being said, let's go to GBP USD and let's see. GBP USD is pretty similar to AU, and same GBP USD. As I said last week, this was a very, very beautiful zone for a sell. If you would have left a pending order in this yellow zone, that would have been a fat stop loss, which is fine because it happens. But then again, as I said before, if price breaks to the downside and it retraces, you could have taken from the decisional of the zone, which was beautiful entry, London open somewhere around 8 o'clock exactly, and then we go all the way down there. And the same thing as AU, right? Okay, let me see once again. Let me go to high time frame so we can see what's going on. All right, cool. Yeah, we are yes, we are still bullish. Let me see 1 second. Yeah, to the left we hit the supply. And what's going on is that now actually, okay, now that is interesting. You see, GU has just literally shifted momentum to the downside, like even from an order flow wise, because you can see that the range that is controlling GU is from here, right? From here then we have this, this, and this. All right, so that's the higher time frame narrative going on. So therefore, for me, this is a break to the downside. It can be a liquidity grab. I don't actually care, because regardless, as I always said, liquidity grab or not, you can expect some sort of retracement to the upside. But that retracement will not gonna happen till you don't see any shift in momentum in lower time frame. So right now you can see lower time frame is bearish. So there's no point for you to look for buys if you do not see any clear sign of strength coming from the buyers, which means that market has to break at least this high in order for you to consider any potential buy into the supply. What supply are we going for? Well, we can easily go for this supply, and this supply. Okay, that's it. Nothing complex. Till I don't see that shift of momentum to the upside, I'm not even considering any more buys, or any buys actually, not anymore, because I didn't take any buys, and I'll be looking for sell. So if I get any confirmation over here, I will just react to it, right? And then boom, taking the sell. And obviously target is in these red lines that I have it from previously. And that's it. That's going to be GBP/USD. So you guys can see that it doesn't have to be really complex. Now, every GBP is very, very interesting, because I said last week that I was going to take a buy, right? Because that's what actually, I was actually in a buy, but that buy, one second. All right. That buy took me out eventually, because market opened, the spread or whatever took me out. Then I took the trade again over here based on the order flow, and that was the time where I literally hit a stop loss, fast stop loss, because the buy that I've taken here, I was actually already with half of the position, because it was Friday, I had to close the trade, and then Monday when it opened, it just took me out, and then it should all the way to the upside. I didn't lose much, it was minimal, which is fine, but here I took like a fat stop loss, which is reasonable, it's fine. I mean, it happens, that's it. So I had to adapt to the market. So what I wanted to see is that if price comes down, breaks again, I will be looking for buy, which eventually happened, but unfortunately I couldn't take it. Now, my first target has been reached. You guys can clearly see that was the drawing I left, literally pinpoint to the blue line, tap, and then we go to the downside. What I can expect on Euro GBP is a very, very tricky one. Why? Because we had just this week to the downside. That actually went a little lower of the demand zone that was holding this level. Now, is this a breaker structure or is this a liquidity gap? Honestly, I don't care. All I know is that whether it's a break or again liquidity grab, we will always have a retracement to the upside. Most of the time, I'm not saying always, but yeah, most of the time statistically. So therefore, I will be currently for intraday over the next week looking for buy. Yes, and if I look for buy, as you guys can see, I already got target 1, target 2, target 3, and target 4. Okay, I don't think target 4 will be reached now. Why? Because of this wick to the downside. But if for any reason target 4, target 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. If for any reason I say that this target has been reached and price breaks above this high, that means it's 100% confirmed that this is a liquidity grab. Therefore, we are continuing going to the upside. Why? Because the higher time frame here was already bullish. So if this is a liquidity grab, means that most likely if we break to the upside, then we'll continue going to the upside. But that's, let's say, for a long call, it's for a long point of view, it's not for the next few days. So what's going on? Currently, the order flow is very clean. You guys can see 1 hour, 30 minutes, right? So I'll be monitoring for potential buy from here and any potential buy from here, where was my initial pending order. If in case we fail to do so and I see this breaking this low, 100% I'm going for a sell, like no doubt on it. And I already have some markups that are left for sell target, which is red line 1, red line 2. That's it, as simple as that. Remember though that Euro GBP is still within a higher time frame bullish zone. That means that this can be just a complex pullback, retracement to the higher time frame demand. That's it. Nothing to complicate about. Let's keep it like this. So let's see how the price plays out. Follow always the current order flow. And now let's go to gold, which was the most beautiful one, literally played out amazingly. What I can expect for gold, we still got the markup. So you guys can see that price took out liquidity to the upside, broke to the downside, and currently it retraced to the supply zone. I mentioned it last week that my target for gold, all right, based on the high time frame order flow is, all right, so this is a high time frame order flow. You guys can see price broke to the downside, broke to the upside. Many will call this as a stop hunt, or some will call break of structure, whatever. Doesn't matter. All we know is that in a higher time frame, it might be potentially a buy because it broke the structure. And then eventually, in order for price to get to the buy side, if it has to, then price need to come this demand, this demand, this demand. Those are the TP1, TP2, TP3 I had from last week for eventually swing targets. And then what's going on currently for the intraday sessions is that we have this leg, right? That's the leg we're looking at. Now, if we see that this high, for example, look at this. If we see this high, which is actually a stop hunt due to news, holds because of, let me see, because of the stop hunt, liquidity grab. If he holds and we see some sort of confirmation towards the sell side, so any break of order flow, then definitely we can take a sell and bring the price all the way down to this demand zone. Okay, that would be very nice. Okay, and it will be actually very, very clean as well. If not, right, don't force anything. If not, and you see or we see, let's say that something like this, for example, this breaks to the upside and then retraces, then that will be beautiful to take a buy for where? For this beautiful supply zone over here. That will be definitely next target. So in both cases, there's a beautiful potential for, let's say, a lot of pips to the upside, same as a lot of pips to the downside. So approximately, that's very nice. So let's see. We're just gonna monitor as usual. Just react, don't predict. However, have always both sides of the coin, okay? For buy and for sell. So in this way, if you hit a stop loss, you know what is going to happen next. And finally, we have USD/CHF. It's been really such a big pain, USD/CHF, last week, because I think I had another stop loss. Oh yeah, actually, I had another stop loss over here. So I said, as I showed earlier on the video, I'm expecting price to reach somewhere up there. So nothing has changed. The bias is still the same. I'm looking still for bullishness. So let's go to higher time frame. If I go 4 hour, you guys can see that. Let me go 1 second to daily. All right. So I mentioned it last week that this might be a potential demand zone because it broke to the upside. So currently this can be a complex pullback. Yes, I know in a higher time frame we are completely bearish because the leg is from this high to this low. However, this is an internal range. So those are like daily, weekly, monthly. That's not something that you need to know every day. Something that you do it once and you already know what's going on. And then later you jump in a smaller time frame. So if you go to a smaller time frame, we can clearly see that the first leg and range we have is this high to this low. So currently you can take the buy, and the buy can be from, currently you can take. Currently there is a potential for a buy because I don't want to make this sound like a signal or anything else. So currently what's going on is that price is showing the intention of going higher. The target I still have in my mind is this zone over here, this supply and this supply, right? And then what actually happened is that, let's go. Price broke to the upside, very, very, very nice. We have a new range formed, which is this low with this high. Therefore, if we see something like this somewhere around here, it will be a very, very beautiful buy to the upside. And as usual, if we don't have that and it breaks to the downside, we can look for a sell. That's it. Nothing complex, nothing crazy. Right now, I'm not prioritizing anything for sell because I personally don't see any sell going on over here. But what do I see is that price can potentially keep going to the upside to the supply side. And this is actually a sign. You see, that's how you also add confluences that can be linked to eurusd. Why? Because eurusd is bearish, right? And USD/CHF, they have like a 90% correlation. So if the price action is telling you the same story for both, which is one is going buy and one is going sell, then definitely it will target all the down here. So this being said, guys, I hope you took some values from the video. I hope you took some notes as usual, because I don't only do the market outlook telling you where price is going or not. I also drop some nuggets here and there when I can, giving you some tips and tricks, because I wish I had that when I started. But trust me, those are the things that, when you start putting it together, it start making a huge difference. This being said, I wish you guys a lovely week ahead. I hope you guys can smash with your trading. And even if you don't smash with your trading because you hit losses or whatsoever, don't get disappointed, don't get down, because we are here to win and together we will win. So if you guys have a question, if you guys have a problem or you're struggling with something, just write down on the comment section. I'll be more than happy to reply to that or even make a video if it's needed, all right? So don't get down. We are here, we are together, and let's smash it.